Welcome back, everybody. It is the Dream League Season 7 Grand Finals. We got Planet Odd going against Liquid. We have just completed game number 1, and we're about to embark in game number 2. Game number 1, though, my God, what a hell of a way to start a Grand Final. It's Planet Odd who managed to do it. Weeha's Timbersaw goes out of control, and I got to reach out to my panel now to find out what the hell to make of it. We have Slacks, we have Cap, we have Merlini back in action here. Slacks, yes. What if there was a DreamHack PC? No, what if this was actually a major? Do you think that these teams would still be just kind of throwing everything out there? It feels like they're almost going this crazy because it's like there's nothing to lose.
Dakota, that game is what every single Dota player wants to see. Just an utter, complete bloodbath. All these plays coming out. You got the Miracle going crazy. You got Wheat. Oh my God. It was perfect. Everything a man could want. But I'm fanboying too much. Let's get some actual analysis from that bad boy. What do you guys think?
I'll pose a question. This is obviously the first game we got to see Timbersaw. Feels like an amazing hero. What made it work so right in this game, Cap?
I mean, he definitely started off pretty well. I think it was just the fact that they were able to fight so much, and they had a really hard time being able to kill the Timbersaw because they had so much right-click that he's just, with the reactive armor, he was able to live and just build up all those Bloodstone charges. So he was continuously in these fights. He never really ran out of ammo, ever. Like, his mana regen was off the charts. So, I don't know. Weeha just, like, this looked like the old Weeha. You know, this whole entire year has been kind of a rough one for Weeha, but this definitely shows like he's still a great mid laner, still amazing playmaker. Remember when Weeha Timbersaw was like the punchline to a joke? You know, this is something else that we're seeing from this kid.
It's crazy. So many moments where it's like, hey, see you later. You think you got a hold of him, and then he's just out the other window, and he's even picking up scrappy kills on the back end. And it's just, like you were saying, these long-winded fights just seem to favor Planet Odd so much. There were so many opportunities, at least in this big, ridiculous, hectic moment where they're just trying to isolate and take out Wee, but he's just lasting so long that his team is able to return into the fight once again, and they're able to kind of get the upper hand.
Yeah, I think there was some amazing plays from both teams. I think Miracle and Weeha were like, they were like the two titans of this entire game. Like both teams were trying to bring down this big playmaker that was really tough to be able to lock down. There was a lot of mistakes as well. I mean, in such a frenetic, like frantic kind of game, there's always going to be a lot of big plays, and there's always going to be a lot of mistakes. I think Matumba Man as well as GH had kind of a rough game for Liquid. Moon Meander started with a very rough game on the clockwork. I mean, there was that one play towards the beginning of the game where he just walked into the bottom river area into 3 heroes. I mean, you only saw 2 of them, but still, he was just like, you just walked at them and died.
I'm going out my way, Cap.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell? I was like, yeah, that's one way to do it, I guess, Moon Meander. There's one way of aggression, but that was just suicide. But he picked it up later on, right? He hit the hook shots that were really important, especially locking down Miracle's Invoker when it was at the most key parts of the game.
Now that was the best Wii performance, though, we've seen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, we have to stress that he's been struggling. We've been talking about Rezo, and Rezo has been carrying them for a pretty long time now, and finally Wii steps to the plate and has this beyond godlike performance that, it was one of a lot of jokes, like, Wii to Timber.
That it really was.
Yeah,
it used to be like I can't remember what tournament it was like. It wasn't Shanghai, but it was something way back when I think it was on Secret that it was just... It was a laughable matter, really.
And on the flip side, we have Matumba Man playing Viper, which we thought it's like, oh yeah, it can kind of be his hero, but he doesn't. It was like they don't play Venom, so they don't play Viper that much. And these kind of heroes that sit in lane are difficult to kill, but have problems like maybe scaling a little bit into the later game. It doesn't seem to be his forte because Miracle couldn't do everything that he could that game. And Viper got destroyed by the Timbersaw later. He's like all this pure damage, and Corrosive's useless.
Yeah, the team fight just ended up being superior for Planet Odd, right? But it was really interesting to see how they could literally trade like 4 heroes for every 3, and Liquid would still come out like slightly ahead in every single one of those fights early on because of Trackle. It was just building and building and building. And I was getting really worried that like the Furion and the Invoker would step away from the team fights and start splitting Planet Odd a little bit too much, but they just kept mashing against each other, and it was a very fun game to watch.
Yeah, well, the reason why Planet Odd was successful was just the sustain, right? I mean, they just kept coming at them. Liquid kept thinking that they could take them out, but you've got the Coddle, you've got the Timber, you've got so many guys that love those long team fights that want them to be that long, and it's I don't know. Kind of not respecting the draft as much as they thought. They really put everything on Invoker, and that's the right guy to give Invoker to, but not even he could take it out. So.
I want to talk a bit more about the Invoker in a moment, but we do have the results of the chat's MVP for this matchup. Slacks, you tell me how right or wrong they may be on this one. Oh, a lot in on Miracle, 63%. For the side of Planet Odd, they do give the credit for we at 21%. Only Matama Man, poor guy, 0% on his Viper.
Well, what are you going to do? Sorry, Viper.
There's no way that it's 21 to 63 there.
Hey, well, take it easy.
Weehaw deserves a lot more, as does Soxa. Only gets 3% on the side of Planet Odd. He was insane on how fast he was in counter initiating. Like GH would try and jump in, Echo Sim, boom, instantly. He would stop the combination, blink and burrow strike.
You make a fantastic point. But who else was on the team, on Team Liquid? I mean, if you look at it not comparatively to each other, but just on their performance on that team, how important they were, I think the audience got it pretty much right. Miracle was 63% of Team Liquid, that team. I don't know.
I mean, that's just the draft, right? They did a safe lane Viper. It's not like Matama Man's gonna, all right, MVP, safe lane Viper. You know, that's never gonna happen.
I did it, boys.
You know, a little bit is on Matama Man's performance, but that's also the way the draft is set up. It was set up for Miracle to like, he had to succeed, right? He was set up in a situation where he's going into somewhat of a laning phase where he's gonna be able to farm very well, and he's their primary damage dealer, who's the only hero that can really blow up a Timbersaw when they lock him down.
Ben, you were quite